Welcome back to Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lorden, and joining me as always is...
Christy Arnhart.
Now, we've gotten some notes that we should be a lot more serious in this show.
We're trying.
Yeah, but I can't take it past the intro. That's all I got, Christy.
No, because that gets way too heavy.
Yeah, it's too heavy. Christy, I am excited because I've seen the pictures you've sent me. I have no idea what they're about. I don't think I'm familiar with any of this. Some of this artwork, kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to share all this, but I'm also really excited about what is this? What did you send me this week?
Well, this week we're dealing with harbingers of death, specifically the Banshee.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I grew up with a lot of Irish superstitions and whatnot in my home. I don't believe we're Irish, so I don't really know why. Seriously. I mean, I tried looking it up, and some of my family says, no, we're Scottish and German. And then the others are like, no, we're all Irish. And I'm like, well, whatever we are, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the question for the audience?
The question is, are harbingers of death real?
Okay.
That's a simple one.
Yep.
Now, of course, harbingers of death are supernatural beings that seem to foretell death, right? We don't always know who is going to die, but sometimes it can be obvious. You know, you'll find these kind of creatures in all the different cultures. You get black dogs, you get white stags. Sometimes people say that Becks, black-eyed kids, and the Mothman are also harbingers of doom. So, yeah. But today we'll just deal specifically with Banshees. Now, in Ireland, they're known as Hags of the Mist, Little Washerwoman, and Hag of the Blackhead.
These are not nice names.
No, they're not. But that's what I love about Ireland and all that. It's all so dark, but it's like, hey, but where we go, you know? Mm-hmm. It's awesome. So usually she's shown just to look like an old witch, but she can appear in one of three forms. Okay. She can either appear as a young woman who lures people to her by singing a sweet song. That's the maiden. That would be the maiden.
Okay.
The next one is the mother, you know, a young woman, or a motherly figure that lures people to her. And then the third one is the old crone. It was described as the old wretched crone.
Okay.
So got to love those three, right? It just cracks me up. It's like young woman, beautiful woman, mother in the prime of her life, an old wretched crone. Like we can't age a little more gracefully than that?
Yeah, once again, I feel like there seems to be a theme with a lot of these of attacking the form of women in some way and making them part of this lore. I don't get it. Like even
seriously,
the young woman is terrifying, you know?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
And I can't help but point this stuff out. I can't help it.
Yeah.
Now, the little washerwoman that they talk about, when she's sighted, she's said to be washing the blood stains from the clothes of individuals who are soon to die. Her eyes are red, bloodshot from all the crying.
Is this her or is this a...
That's her.
Okay.
Now that's her washing the clothes.
Yeah. That's freaky.
Yeah.
That's freaky. That's like looks like a heavy metal album cover or something.
It does. And I really, these are all like deviant art and things like that. I had trouble finding old depictions of them. And, well, these are just kind of cool.
Yeah.
The artists did well. So, all right. So the Irish Post tells us that she was a fairy woman, a spirit linked to the realm of the dead. And if you spotted her, you'd be praying for the safety of your family because it was likely that one of them would soon be joining her there. They're actually believed to be descended from the Tuatha De Danann. They are the old gods who fought over Ireland with human beings. Now, a prophecy foretold them that they wouldn't win these wars in the end. So when the Milesians, and I may have pronounced that wrong, when they found Ireland, they're actually the people that modern Irish people are descended from. They struck a deal with the Tuatha De Danann that they would keep as humans the upper part of the world, and the fairies would all go to the lower realm of the world. And you could travel back and forth through fairy forts and, mushroom rings and things like that. Now, the name Banshee itself is derived from the Old English for woman of the fairies. There's the crone again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Ban for woman and Sith for fairy is how it goes. But her name is connected to all the different, earth mounts that dot Ireland. They call them tumuli. And y'all let me know if I pronounced that wrong.
Okay.
These tumuli usually cover a grave or a number of graves, and they're said to be the home of the spirits and the dead. And of course, that's where the Banshee's going to be. So even if you never spot her, which they're said if you do spot her, she either flies away in the form of a bird or she disappears into a mist. But regardless, everybody can hear her shriek. It's said to break glass. It's a very traumatic thing to hear. And there are accounts of people hearing and seeing banshees that go back to 1380. So just look out if you hear that scream.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've seen a banshee depicted in anything else except for that movie that we were talking about before, Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Guys, go to Disney Plus and watch Darby O'Gill and the Little People if you haven't. I watched that so much as a kid, and that's what made me think to do Banshees today.
Yeah, and it's weird because it has a feel of... it's a Disney movie, but it has the feel of like it's made for children, but there's some really, really scary things that happen in it.
Oh, yeah. There are. Seriously.
And it's kind of addressing death. Like it's about Darby O'Gill and kind of getting later in life. Like that's a main part of it as he hunts for the pot of gold and kidnaps a leprechaun.
He ends up kidnapping the king of the leprechauns too.
Right. Oh,
I love that movie. So, and Sean Connery, young Sean Connery. It's a very nice sight to see.
Yeah, and one of the few occasions where you will see Sean Connery sing.
Yeah, and he does a good job.
Yeah, he's got a really nice voice. A young, strapping Sean Connery. So yeah, outside of that, I really haven't seen too many depictions in popular culture of banshees. Not something that's used a whole lot, at least in the stuff that I'm seeing.
It's not. Now, I do think that there's a modern movie that's come out recently, not like a big mainstream movie, but no, this isn't dealt with. And when you do see it dealt with in popular culture, they give the banshees more powers, like was it DC or Marvel who had Banshee? It was Marvel.
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was. That's right. I forgot that there was a
But her scream can like blow out walls and project people and stuff. Banshees aren't like that.
Yeah.
They don't actually bring the harm to you. They just let you know it's coming. And I don't know if this is where the Banshee myth started or if this practice started because of banshees, but it's believed that the legend evolved from the Irish custom of the lament in the 8th century. Women would sing a sorrowful song at funerals to grieve for the dead. This mournful lament would be heard across the village, indicating that someone had passed away. The funeral singers were called keeners. Now,
that makes a lot of sense, just in terms
doesn't
of,
it?
Yeah, someone having like the few times I've had to deal with death in my life so far, you can have a guttural reaction. Like, sometimes you cry or scream or yell in such a way that, you would think that it was a ghost or something like that. So that's a really interesting connection to hear about that, even just for it to be around a cemetery or place where people are processing death, hearing that kind of sound, I would see that would be a great way for a belief structure like this to start, because you'd hear that sound time and time again there.
You would, and especially in the centuries we're dealing with, there was a lot of death. But now, did we start this, or did we see the Banshee and think, imitate?
Yeah.
There were said to be 5 families originally that had banshees attached to them, because not everybody does. Everybody can hear them, but they aren't always portending. Is that a word? Portending?
I don't know.
Your death.
I like it. Okay.
That's the new word for the day. So you've got the O'Neills, the O'Donnells, the O'Connors, the O'Learys, the O'Tooles, and the O'Conors. Those were the 5 original families that had these creatures attached to them. Now, if you want to hear real life stories of banshees, I've got 2 different videos here and I'm gonna put the links in our little chat here, because this guy, he actually went and for decades recorded family members and other people telling their experiences about banshees, and he plays those for you.
Oh, that's cool.
That is really neat. Oh yeah.
Pretty
now
Irish
the second
looking guy.
I totally believe that he is.
Yeah, he looks like he could be a relative of mine. Okay.
Now, the second video, this one right here, and if you want to, you can play a minute of it. It is so precious listening to her tell this.
All right, let's see.
The only experience I had with the Banshee is that we had a man working in the forge, and he was here with us for 33 years. So eventually he met this woman from Cork, and he was going out with her for a couple of years. So they decided they'd get married. I'd say he would have been 47 or 8, and she would have possibly been the same, but she told him that she was, we'll say, 40. And went on grand for years. So eventually there was no family coming or anything. So things were changing and changing. But they lived together anyway for many years, but she got cancer eventually. And she died from cancer. And my son John was her favourite. And the day she was dying in the hospital, I had John in us, it was about 3 years. And she was looking for us all day. But by the time we were home from Ennis, she had passed away. So this is why I think.
I've been using the closed captions just to try to follow what she's saying, because I'm only picking up like maybe half of what she's saying. But at some point, the closed captions thought she said the F word, which I know she didn't.
No, she did not. But yeah, listening to her tell this is neat.
Yeah, my family is from Cork. Wow.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, her voice when it first started, I was like, that sounds like a child. It sounds like a little kid telling a story.
She is so cute. I would have just wanted to run up and give her a hug. But anyway, I put both of those into the chat, and both of those are really good videos to watch and hear the stories from.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going for actual proof of a banshee,
yes, I am,
just
Christy.
get trash.
That's what?
You just get trash.
Really?
Yes.
There's no good proof?
Okay.
But I have a video here.
I know. And I can debunk both of these. That's how bad it is.
Really? Okay. All right. You want to watch this one? Let's see what happens here. Okay.
That is ridiculous.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's not it.
No, that's not.
That's it.
So loud.
What the heck? That's a steam whistle.
That is horrible.
They're all steam whistles.
It sounds like somebody screaming for help in the sky.
Listen to this. There's a sound screaming. It's like a.
All right, now.
I've heard.
It's definitely the same sound in each of those recordings. So yeah, it sounds like it might be something that's regional. It's something that they're close to, right? You're saying it's a steam whistle?
Yes, because there was another video that I found that they weren't claiming it was a banshee. They just couldn't figure out what it was. And eventually people in the surrounding area tracked it down. And it was just a steam whistle at the industrial area.
Okay. Well, we have someone in the chat right now, Naders. I believe Naders was saying that she has heard one. It's terrifying.
I believe it.
Screech, Naders says. Naders, does this sound anything like what you heard? Let's give Naders a little time to type up a response to that. Okay, so you're not 100% on it being the steam whistle, but it does seem to be
No.
something regional to this area because they're capturing it from different distances pretty clearly, unless someone is faking all these things using the same little piece of audio and kind of just dropping it in there at different volume levels, which I honestly, I don't feel like is happening.
Yeah.
It's curious that it's in Texas to me.
See, that's where you start. I really believe that a lot of these creatures and these beliefs, they are regional. There are, we don't see oolongs out here. We don't see women's heads flying around with their guts hanging out like the Philippine vampires are. We don't see stuff like that, but they do.
Yeah.
It's not that it can't follow you, but I am not buying that there's a banshee in Texas.
Yeah. I'm kind of struggling with that too. Okay, so Nader says not a banshee. That's not a banshee. Okay. All right. We got another clip here. What is this, Christy?
Well, let's just listen to this.
Oh, okay. All right.
That is obviously two raccoons knocking one out. I'm totally serious.
I want to crawl in that imagination that came up with that for a second. I just want to see a picture of two raccoons. Are they boxing?
Oh, no. No, I think it's sexy time.
Oh, you think it's sexy? Oh, I thought you meant like...
No.
See, that's where my mind went. Two raccoons.
No, I think it's raccoon sexy time.
Oh,
because it's
really?
definitely raccoons. Yeah. It's like, dude, come on.
It could be. It could be. My first intuition from that is, I have unfortunately lived in an area where I heard some animals that were being attacked. Like I was next to a hill, and I think it might have been like a domesticated cat that got stuck out there, and like a coyote caught up with it or something.
Oh.
And it's terrifying. Like the sounds that you hear, like it was weird. Like instantly my blood was boiling. Like I felt like I had to go do something. What do? You're gonna go running out into the wild, try to find a coyote? Like what? But it was just that kind of, like, it was so clear that it was fighting for its life. Like you could hear in the tone, and I know we've already said guttural before, but it was just coming from a different place. So that was kind of my first, but it doesn't even sound like that. Clearly, I think you're right. I think that that's some type of animal. That's some type of wildlife. It's obviously a trail cam. Don't know that that's a banshee, and I don't think they even... Oh, this one is in Simcoe County, Ontario. Unless, banshees might be getting around. I don't know.
They could be. But really, just as far as harbingers of death go, think about loved ones that you've lost and the odd things that happened before, that just kind of clue you in. I know with my granddad and with my dad both, there were little things that happened before that, seemed to kind of foretell.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Well, Christy, we put it to the live audience here. Are harbingers of death real? And 53% of them said yes. You know what that means? Paranormal confirmed for Christy Arnhart. And that's with you debunking the videos that you brought. How do you win this?
I'm telling you, I think they're real. Harbingers of death are real. And banshees, I do. I do totally buy that.
Well, and I think opening up the scope of the conversation a little bit, I think all of us have probably had some time in our lives where we had some form of sign. Something that meant something very unique to us, that maybe guided a decision or accompanied a big life change or something like that. Something that feels like it's beyond explanation. And I think knowing that those types of moments, and I do believe they happen for probably 95% of us. There might be 5% of people out there that are just, no, I've never had anything like that ever happen in my life. But I think on average, most people are going to say, yeah, there was this one weird thing at least in my life that happened. thinking about the possibility of that happening close to the end of your life, that same type of trigger or kind of, I don't want to say like thumbs up, but just like, you know, like this is the path that you're on, like maybe warning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a possibility. I mean, you do hear stories about people that get freaked out about getting on a plane or something like that, and all of a sudden the plane goes down. Like there's not a ton of them, but there are those stories out there.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's hard to say that there is nothing to harbingers of death. I think that we see enough other things happen in our lives that would support the possibility of that type of cue happening near the end of it. But I don't know. That's where I am with it. Basically, I'm on the yes side as well, Christy. So good job.
Well, thank you. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for all your hard work on today's episode. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you
Absolutely
on the other side.